Welcome to this exam-focused explainer. Look, if you are sitting the AQA A-Level Psychology Paper 3 in 2026, you're in exactly the right place. First things first, take a deep breath. Today, we're building a calm, strategic roadmap to literally maximize your marks. Think of this as your ultimate playbook. We're going to break down the examiner's logic, target the absolute highest yield content, and crucially, build a safety net to protect you from any of those nasty AQA curveballs. You've totally got this, so let's get focused.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here's our playbook for today. 1. The Paper 3 Blueprint. 2. The AO Survival Guide. 3. Issues and Debates. 4. Relationships. 5. Schizophrenia. And 6. Forensic Psychology.
Section 1. The Blueprint. Let's talk about what Paper 3 actually looks like on exam day. So your exam is divided into 4 solid 24-mark sections. Issues and debates, that one's compulsory for absolutely everyone. Then, based on the options we study, you'll be answering questions on relationships, schizophrenia, and forensic psychology. This explainer is specifically designed to help you prioritize the most likely content, practice the right question formats, deeply understand those assessment objectives, and build a massive safety net to protect yourself against surprise questions.
Now, before we go literally any further, I need to give you a crucial warning. Listen closely. These predictions are based on patterns and exam logic. They are not guarantees. You should absolutely prioritize these hot topics, but you must not gamble your hard-earned grade by only revising these areas. AQA can and will turn any minor topic into a full 16-marker. So prioritize, yes, but do not ignore the rest of your syllabus.
Section 2. The AO Survival Guide. Let's figure out the rules of the game before we get into the heavy content.
So, the crucial point here is knowing exactly how your marks are allocated based on the question type. If you get a 16 marker with no STEM, you should expect to need 6 marks of clear AO1 knowledge and 10 marks of AO3 evaluation. That means at least 3 heavily developed evaluation points. But watch out, if that 16 marker has a STEM or a scenario, suddenly the game changes. It's AO1 6, AO2 4, and AO3 6. You must apply the names and details from the STEM directly to grab those AO2 marks. For shorter, say 4 to 6 mark application questions, those are AO2 heavy. Do not write a generic mini-essay. Use the scenario directly. And for short 2 to 3 markers, just answer directly using specialist terminology. Remember, AOQ can vary these allocations, so always respond directly to the command word.
Section 3. Issues and Debates. Moving right into our first 24-mark section, and remember, this one is compulsory.
Okay, here are the very hot, high-priority areas you need to lock down. I know this looks like a mountain of content, and honestly, it kind of is. AQA Psychology loves to test your memory limits, right? But you need to prepare for potential 16 markers here. For idiographic versus nomothetic, know the difference between studying unique individuals versus establishing general scientific laws. For ethical implications, you've got to do way more than just list standard ethical issues. The examiners will see right through that. You must explain the wider consequences for participants and society, particularly regarding socially sensitive research. You also need a really firm grip on gender and culture bias, the different types of determinism, nature-nurturer, and holism versus reductionism. For all of these, your AO1 needs to be sharp, precise definitions, and your AO3 must evaluate the real-world impact these debates have on how we conduct psychological research.
And this brilliantly illustrates how you can basically hack the mark scheme. In the debates section, you need strong examples to score well, and you can literally steal these directly from your other option topics. If you get a question on nature, use genetic explanations of schizophrenia as your nature example. Simple. For reductionism, use the dopamine hypothesis. If you need an example of ethical implications, talk about the social sensitivity of labeling someone with schizophrenia or the implications of offender profiling. Wielding these cross-topic examples is going to absolutely skyrocket your AO3 evaluation marks.
Section 4. Relationships. Let's shift our focus to your current specification Section B option.
For relationships, our very hot predictions are evolutionary explanations for partner preferences. For this, make sure you know sexual selection and anisogamy inside and out. You also need Duck's phase model of relationship breakdown, the hyperpersonal model in virtual relationships, and the absorption-addiction model in parasocial relationships. For your AO3 and evolutionary explanations, be ready to evaluate determinism and the massive impact of changing cultural and gender roles.
Now, what about our safety net topics? You must know these medium-high priorities well enough to handle a surprise 8 or 16 marker. The key here is avoiding common exam mistakes.
For self-disclosure, don't just say it's about sharing secrets. You must mention breadth, depth, and reciprocity. If you get equity theory, do not assume fairness just means equal profit. No way, that's social exchange theory. Equity is all about the ratio of inputs to outputs. And for Rusbult's investment model, never ever treat satisfaction and commitment as the exact same thing. They are totally distinct components of the model.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is seeing exactly how to upgrade your AO3. Notice the difference between a basic and a strong social exchange theory answer. A basic answer just kind of lists rewards and costs. Sure, it gets some marks, but a top-band, strong answer actively evaluates economic reductionism. It criticizes the theory for its artificial nature, arguing that reducing complex human romance purely to a balance sheet of costs, rewards, and comparison levels is just far too simplistic. That, my friends, is how you get top marks.
Section 5. Schizophrenia. Moving smoothly onto your Section C option, let's keep the energy up.
The absolute high-priority focus here is biological explanations. Specifically, we're talking genetics, neural correlates, and you must explicitly cover the dopamine hypothesis. The golden rule here, AO1 precision. If the question asks for genetic explanation, do not write a massive paragraph about dopamine. Keep them distinct. And whatever you do, do not confuse biological explanations with psychological ones like family dysfunction. For your AO3, you'll want to evaluate using concordance rates from twin studies, question cause and effect with neural correlates, and of course, discuss biological reductionism.
Another massive priority is the interactionist approach, specifically the diathesis stress model. This is just a brilliant 16-marker topic because it allows you to synthesize basically everything. You can explain how an underlying genetic vulnerability, the diathesis, interacts with an environmental trigger, like stress from family dysfunction. Plus, it gives you a fantastic AO3 angle. You can evaluate how combining biological treatments like antipsychotics with psychological treatments like CBT is significantly more effective than either one alone.
Section 6. Forensic Psychology Predictions. All right, we're on to the final option for Paper 3. Stay focused. We are almost there.
For forensic psychology, your very hot topics are offender profiling. Make sure you can comfortably compare top-down and bottom-up approaches and the biological and psychological explanations of offending. For ways of dealing with offending, prioritize custodial sentencing and restorative justice, keeping behavior modification and anger management in your back pocket as your safety net. Now here is a massive warning. You absolutely must clearly separate explanations of offending from ways of dealing with it. Seriously, do not evaluate the effects of prison as if it's a biological explanation for why someone committed a crime. Let's move to and see how this all builds into your final exam strategy. Because look, knowing the content is only half the battle. You have to actively use your green pen. Write your practice essays, then ruthlessly mark them. Find the exact focus of the question. Match your answer to the correct AO split. Force yourself to use names and quotes from the STEM. And use that green pen to deepen your evaluation using phrases like this means that or therefore.
So, my final question to you is this. Which safety net topic are you going to green pen today? Don't leave your success to chance. Open up your predictor booklet, pick a topic you've been putting off, grab that green pen, and start protecting yourself against the ultimate Paper 3 curveball right now. You have the roadmap, you know what to do.